Good morning, everyone. I have Ecclesiastes 3, verse 20, and it says, this is rolling over from verse 19. It says, both go to the same place. They came from dust and they return to dust. So both is talking about man and animal if we go back to verse 19. So I wanted to Genesis 2 and 1, where it says, God formed the man from the dust of the ground and breathed in him his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living being. Somewhere around that time, the animals were created too. I have a few other verses where I'm going to summarize. Man is created from the dust. If we go to Job 34:14-15, in summary it says, if God chose to remove his spirit and his breath, which is the breath is that life in us, all flesh would perish together and men would return to dust. So without that breath, we would die. We would literally die a spiritual death, which I believe is worse than the physical death. That somewhat happened, and I have an example. It was not at God's hands, but it was during the fall of man, when Adam and Eve chose to eat of the fruit. They made a choice. They were tempted and they made a choice, which resulted in a spiritual death. They became separated from God. It just makes me think sometimes, grieves me to see in society today where people, they do any and everything by any means necessary to get money, to get fame, to get fortune, to get all these temporal things and all these material things that literally will wither away like the dust also. Whether or not they realize what's going on, some have no clue. They rejected God. One day, whether it's before judgment or during judgment, they will come to the realization that this was nothing. Like, I stole from people, I gouged, I didn't help the needy, I didn't help the homeless, I kept everything for myself and my family, but I can't take it with me, right? 1 Corinthians 3:16 says, do you not know that your body is the temple of God and that the Holy Spirit in God dwells in you? Now, the Holy Spirit in us, we know, is believers, those who accept Jesus Christ. So God gave us that option to get that life back in us, to be spiritually alive again by receiving Jesus Christ, but also receiving Holy Spirit to dwell in us. And I describe Holy Spirit as a life spark, that living substance back into us. And without Holy Spirit, there's a spiritual death. So I wanted to tie it together. No matter what is done throughout life, if Jesus Christ is not sincerely received and the life spark of Holy Spirit does not dwell inside you, then we have the same fate as all the animals we are supposed to have dominion over. So I wanted to tie that back together to Ecclesiastes 3:20. Without Christ, without Holy Spirit, we will go back to the same dust that the same animals that maybe look down upon, the same dust that they're going back to.
Don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Hit the notification bell to receive alerts when new videos are uploaded. Like, share, and comment.